Welcome to the Denton Vibe with Diva Girl Ellie, powered in part by Studio E and Classic of Denton.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me tonight on the Denton Vibe with Diva Girl Ellie here on DentonRadio.com. Today I have a wonderful guest who's going to be sitting in with me tonight, Melanie Preslar. She is a singer-songwriter, and we're going to learn her story tonight.
Ooh.
I know, it's interesting, you guys. And we had ice cream before the show.
We did, from Beth Marie's.
Beth Marie's dropped off some really good ice cream.
What kind of ice cream was that?
It was
Goat milk.
Goat milk and blueberry or something like that, and it was really good. I didn't know if that was going to be my vibe, but it's really good.
It is your vibe on the vibe.
It is on my vibe show. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So we're going to get to know her a little bit and see what she's all about, and tell us all about yourself here in Denton. How did you get here? What's your story?
Whoa, those are huge questions. Thank you. I came to Denton in 2006, and let me clarify, I am an Arkansan. From North Little Rock, Arkansas, and raised there, went off, joined the Air Force, came back home, raised my children there, had a life change, and I ended up in the state of Texas in 2006. And it was one of those situations that the moment I crossed the border, I felt genetically on the DNA level a mutation happening within me, and all of a sudden I had bloomed into a Texan.
That's awesome.
And so was here for a while, ran a little bit of a business, then discovered I wanted to go to nursing school for this season in my life, and I made that happen.
Nice.
And you can interrupt any time here, otherwise I'll just take it and run.
No,
okay.
Take it and run.
Okay, all right.
I want to know all about you.
Well, bless your heart.
You're my
I love
new
you.
friend.
Oh, absolutely. Isn't that, you've got a great job to have new friends like that all the time.
I do.
That's
I love it.
wonderful.
I'm very
It
blessed.
is.
Thank you.
It is.
Thank you for all those that make it happen.
You're so welcome, and everyone. I grew up in the Southern Baptist Church, and we always had a huge drama program, vocal program, and so I grew up with the arts around me. And little did I know how it was preparing me for my future and my passion. And wherever I've lived, whether it was in the Air Force when I was in there or in little communities, there was always some sort of theater program or music program I could plug in and be a part of.
Nice.
But I always considered myself an amateur and doing it for love, which I truly still am doing it for love.
Nice.
But you're always straddling that fence of how do you provide for yourself. And we see it here in Denton with people we love and adore who are amazingly talented. And we're saying, why hasn't somebody discovered them? And yet they can't pay their bills.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate enough to have another passion, and that is healing. And I became a nurse at the age of 50. I graduated from NCTC nursing program, and was in 2012. And then 2013 started working at Parkland Hospital.
Nice.
And made friends while I was in school with Ellen and Steve and Bob.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Banter and that crowd.
I
And
did too around
Did
that
you
time.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? 2014 really plugged in with them. Of course, I went to study there. I had no idea the music scene that went on there in the evening.
Yeah.
And one night I stayed there longer than I should have, truly. And all of a sudden I heard this music, and I was, what is this? And discovered it and became really good friends with Ellen and Steven.
Great.
Oh, they're beautiful people. And they've sponsored so many of our artists who started out as minors there. First time they were behind a mic with a guitar on, and now some of them, they travel around the entire state and even the nation, so our country. One of my friends I don't know who it was, but they were trying to get my attention.
You can wave at them.
Hi. So as a result of that, I always thought, okay, I'm going to plug in back into my music. I put all of that aside, and I just kept thinking, Banter's there, I'm going to plug back in. I'm going to plug back in.
Yeah.
And then in the fall, late fall of 2014, Ellen told me that they were selling Banter.
I know. That was a big blow to the community.
It was a church to all of us. So
really
many of us,
was.
our church. And so I realized if I was going to plug into the music scene, I needed to do it then.
Yeah.
Because as music communities are, as any artist communities are, you've got to know people and be accepted and
you got to get initiated.
You really do. You do. You have to show you have value, that you contribute, and it's not just about you, but it's about building up and enlightening the community.
It really is.
Yes. And so I was fortunate enough to plug in there. Oh, I feel embarrassed. Tim, I cannot remember your last name. He plays beautiful Mediterranean style, Spanish style.
Courtney.
Thank you so much.
Tim Courtney.
He was an angel to me because I've been asking everybody, would you please accompany me? Would you please? And
Tim is a sweetheart. He's a good friend of mine.
He said, Melanie, Tim said, I will be happy to. And it went from there. And then Matt and I became friends. Matt Grigsby, who's probably the #1 influence on me. I'll head you off the path with that question. Matt Grigsby, who just won Texas State Songwriter of the Year.
He
Woo-hoo.
did. He sure did.
Yes, he did. So he's an amazing talent for our area.
Yeah, he
But
is.
he took me under his wing, and then followed by so many of the young community of that banter crowd took me in. And then I was able to make other associations to the old Denton music as a result of that.
Yeah, I noticed that when I went and visited the guild,
Yes.
the open mic, there was a different flavor there, and I appreciated it. It was different. It was like, you know what? I like it here. I like listening to the music that's being, done and performed there. It was really neat. That's where I met you.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
it was definitely a different twist.
It really is. It's really Texas style. It's folk music. It's
Yep.
Americana. And then every so often we get people in that are doing pop. And again, they're doing it in such a quality that it's enjoyable as well. And but really, truly, that open mic that Matt is running on Thursday nights is very, very close to the banter vibe that we had. And I'm going to give another plug to a dear friend of mine, Caleb Coonrod. His Killer Tacos is also another similar to banter vibe.
I still haven't made it to that one.
You've got to come.
I need to
it's
do
fantastic musicians.
that. Yeah, and I definitely give props to that whole banter crowd. I'm part of the banter crowd because that's where I started with Lost Poet
That's
Lounge.
exactly right. That is exactly
And so
right.
it was it felt like home. And so Ellen and Bob and Steve, they opened the doors for us. They allowed many poets to perform that, and there, and that was our stage, and it allowed us growth. And so I understand perfectly well what you mean by, when you're producing these shows and you're trying to encourage people to get up on stage, and it's just fun and exciting, and then you meet so many people there in the process. I remember the musicians coming in after us.
Yes.
So you guys were always there after us.
Right.
Yeah.
So from that world, my music world just exploded like a mushroom.
Nice.
Just microwave or something, where all of a sudden everything that I am now today and all of the friends and the community that has been birthed from that banter experience happened because we all were able to plug into banter during those days.
Well, there you go.
And so
We miss it, don't we?
we do. We're gonna sainthood Ellen and Steve and Bob.
We're going to have her do an ode to you guys. I'm sure they would appreciate it because they were that influential for her. And not that anyone else isn't, but there was a big community there that was,
they were mom and pop.
Yeah,
and
I remember seeing this guy over here sitting there
Absolutely.
every once in a blue moon, and I'd be like, who is that guy?
Right.
Who does he think he is coming into my banter?
Right.
No, I'm kidding, Jake. No, but it's one of those places, it just felt like home.
Right.
Yeah. So we had to find alternate homes now, but we miss you guys, but we still have remnants of you out here.
All those seeds that were planted, they're
Yeah.
now, some of them are vibrant plants.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are you going to sing for us today?
Well, I have 3 songs, and the first one is called A Song for You, and it's written for you, specifically, specially for you.
Now you're my extra special friend.
But this was written by Graham Parsons.
Okay.
And so I don't have originals tonight. I have 3 covers.
No worries.
So are we time for that now? Is that where we're going, or are we going to continue? Okay, cool. Very good. All right. Well, here we go then. This is A Song for You, and again, written by Graham Parsons. And I first learned this as a result, again, of my association with Zeb Ernest and Bain Ennis and a group of our band that used to be known as Deep in the Grass.
Okay.
And some of the jamming times we had just around our kitchen table.
Nice.
So, oh, my land, it's like a wild goose, wanders all around and everywhere. It trembles and it shakes till all the leaves come loose. It rolls the meadows and it rolls the nails. Take me down to your dance floor. And I won't mind the people when they stare. To paint another color on your front door. And in the morning I'll still be there. Now Jesus built a ship to sing a song to. It sails the rivers and it sails the tides. Some of my friends don't know who they belong to. Some can't even get a single thing to work inside. So take me down to your dance floor, and I won't mind the people when they stare. So paint another color on your front door. And in the morning I'll still be there. Loved you every day and now you're leaving. And I can see the sorrow in your eyes. I hope you know more than you're believing, just so the sun don't make you cry. So take me down to your dance floor, and I won't mind the people when they stare. So paint another color on your front door. And in the morning I'll still be there. So take me down to your dance floor, and I won't mind the people when they stare. So paint another color on your front door. In the morning I'll still be there. In the morning I'll still be there.
Woo.
Thank you, guys.
Beautifully done.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, look at this. There's my friend Zeb out there.
Hey, there's Matt.
Matt
Hey,
Grigsby? Matt Grigsby?
There you go. You were just talking about him. His ears were burning.
I am his number one fan.
He's right there. You're looking that way. He's actually right.
It's the reflect. Hey, Matt.
That was very beautifully done.
Thank you.
I'm so
Thank
glad
you.
you sang that for me.
Oh, but I did specifically for you. I fretted all week long. When am I going to sing for a song?
Oh my goodness. So interesting. You were telling me that you recently, well, not recently, but very, very later in life, you learned the guitar.
Actually, really recently.
Yeah.
2 years.
So that just
2 years.
amazes me that you were performing and just like nothing.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And it's an example because so many of us, how many of us have things in our life that we are passionate about, but we never put into practice? Whether it's, oh, I would love to play the guitar, I'd give anything, or oh, I'd give anything to paint, or I'd give anything to write.
I'm still working through that with my band, Hot Mess.
There you go. So Hot Mess, here you come.
Jake is tired of hearing that. He's like, oh
Jake,
my
we're
gosh.
going to actualize this now. Now that she's told me, it's going to happen. And so we all are capable of those things. It's just putting one foot in front of the other.
It really is. I
Yes.
know that. And it's just one of those things where you're just like, gotta jump,
But
gotta
you know,
do it.
at the same time, just like do you have picante sauce or some sort of
Salsa?
salsa?
Yes.
So that has already been actualized.
It has been.
So you know when it's in the right time, it's you're collecting, you are working on it, and there's going to be a time when it's time for it to be birthed, and it will.
Okay. This is like motivational with Melanie here. Motivational moments with Melanie. Thank you for that motivation.
You're welcome.
I need it.
Okay.
I'll take all I can get, honestly and truly. So it's just interesting to me that you've been doing this very, very short time, and you're just doing it so awesomely.
Right, and that's one of the reasons why. Well, no, not right. Isn't thank you for that. That's the
You're
right
like,
thing to say. Thank you.
Yes. It's okay. Own it.
But there were so many people in place that happened with.
Yeah.
And because of,
It's very common. You would think, I started playing a year ago, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It's just amazing to me.
When the stars line up.
Yeah,
So,
truly.
yeah. Do you want me to do another?
Yes.
Okay, this is George Gershwin, Summertime. The first time you heard me sing, you were like, you've got to do that song.
Oh, yeah,
So-
yeah.
so,
That's right.
Yeah, so here we go. Summertime, and the living so easy. The fish are jumping, and the cotton so high. Your daddy's rich, and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. You're gonna spread your wings, this is you, and take to the sky. Until that morning, oh, nothing will harm you. With Daddy and Mama standing by. Summertime, and the living so easy. The fish are jumping, and your cotton so high. Your daddy's rich, and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, baby, don't you cry. The summertime, don't you cry.
I absolutely love the way you perform that song.
Thank you.
It is amazing the way you perform it, and Oh, I'm glad we got it on tape here.
Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you. Thank you for that. So
that is my favorite. The one that
awesome.
all of the ones that you perform. That
Very
one's my
good.
favorite.
That's. Thank you for saying that, Ellie. So,
It's true.
yeah.
It's true. So, where can people find you performing around town? What do you have going on?
Well, off and on again with a band that's called. Boy, my mind just went boom. Mid-century retro, mid-century retro.
Nice.
And we do exactly that. We do retro music from the mid-century, a lot of Janis Joplin, a lot of some of the psychedelic stuff that was out there, stuff that was way before my time. I knew nothing about it, and I'm kidding. I did know some of it, especially Janis Joplin. So I play off and on with them. You can always find me at open mics, especially Matt Grigsby's open mic at Armadillo Ale Works. Because, again, the beautiful thing about our town is the petri glass, the petri dish that we offer budding musicians. And there is an open mic, sometimes more than one, in every single place, every single week of this town.
Yep.
Throughout
true.
the week.
You guys, if y'all haven't been to an open mic here in Denton,
take part and enjoy it, and enjoy the community that is just so vital to here to Denton.
I love it.
Yeah. So that, and then I play every now and then. I'm actually in a growth season where I'm taking time away from being behind the mic and really developing some new chops and some new skills.
Nice.
So,
I can't wait to see what you come up with.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, I'm a fan. You already know that. I've been waiting to get you on the show.
We're a mutual admiration society, that's for sure.
Thank you. So, where would they go on social media? And if it's your personal page or whatever.
It is right now. It is my personal page again, and there's a reason for that. And I know that I need to have all of those other assets that go with a musician being made available to the community that they live in. A long time ago, I heard John Travolta give a quote, and he talked about that he himself, when he was starting out, and he's a Renaissance. He's a dancer. He's a musician. He's an actor, of course. A singer. A long time ago, he had to make the choice: was he going to go for success or was he going to go for significance?
Nice.
And for me, significance is the answer. Now, that doesn't mean that I won't get these other sides up and going. I will. But the significance comes from someone looking at this 56-year-old woman who's only been playing the guitar for 2 years and saying, God, I can do that. I almost did it. Beep. And if she can do it, I can do it. And there's so many people in our community. By God, if they can do it, I can do it. And that's why we're here.
Definitely.
Not for the spotlight, but to say, hey, come grow. Let's all do this together.
And that's a fun process when you have a community to grow with.
Right.
So it's always fun to be a part of something. It's always fun to find your tribe. It's always fun to be amongst your family, away from your family, which I had to do.
Yes.
So it is
found that chosen family that
you have to
cheers you on.
Yeah, exactly. The ones that actually choose to be around you.
Yes.
Sister, you better be watching. Now that I think about it.
Oh, no.
I'm going to put my sister Ray on the spot.
Here
If
we go.
she was like, I'll be watching. How do you look? How do you watch it? She better be watching. You guys, can y'all check if Raquel is watching, please?
I was a witness. You gave her text by text.
Yes.
This is how you go and look it up and do it.
Yes. So if she's not watching, we're going to have a conversation tomorrow. But anyways, I would love for you to do one more song as you take us out of the evening here, or the first half, because actually we do have
more people.
The second half of our show tonight is going to be with the North Texas Book Festival, and they will be here in just a few moments joining me tonight. So we'll have one more beautiful song from Melanie.
Well, thank you so much.
Of
I
course.
appreciate you and the opportunity. This is called A Song for You. No, it's not called A Song for You. It's called Rain Just Falls. And
I'll take another one.
Yeah. And another. Written by David Worley. And again, I first heard this around the kitchen table at Zeb Ernest's house on Austin Street with a friend of ours named Dave Coulter, who I heard this and I went, ooh, I want to learn that song.
Nice.
And so I did. I do it different, but I learned it. So
it's your rendition.
in the still of the night, all the feelings inside me gather round at a sight for sore eyes, and the bells distance tolling only makes my mind open to the half-truths that are always half-lies. Oh, it might be the sound of a shell I once found, or some kind of tumbling down wall. But it ain't on your account. I'm leaving if I'm leaving, 'cause rain don't fall for the flowers when it's falling. Rain just falls. Oh, to have and to hold you, I remember I told you till death do us part. But I can't touch that time. You know I'm out of my mind, and it feels like I'm out of my heart. Oh, it might be the words of a prophet I heard, or some kind of tumbling down wall. But it ain't on your account. I'm leaving if I'm leaving, 'cause rain don't fall for the flowers when it's falling. Rain just falls. Oh, it might be the sound of a shell I once found, or some kind of tumbling down wall. But it ain't on your account. I'm leaving if I'm leaving, 'cause rain don't fall for the flowers when it's falling. Rain just falls. The rain just falls. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
I can be alone and not be lonely, and I'm most lonely in the thickest of crowds. And I can long to escape to the silence, only to find the silence far too loud. And I can give someone so much love, my love will turn to hate. And I can give someone all my love, but my love won't make them stay. And ain't it just like this life, to turn a miracle into a sin? Beat me down and break me up and build me back together again. Have the biggest sail in the harbor and still not catch a gust of wind. I can lie and stare above me and still not see the sky. And I can study the rarest of wisdoms, still not be rare or wise. And I can meet the woes of life with resistance and still not feel very strong. And I can search for God in the distance to find He's inside me all along. And ain't it just like this life, turn a miracle into a sin? To beat me down and break me up and build me back together again. Have the biggest sail in the harbor and still not catch a gust of wind. Ain't it just like this life, turn a miracle into a sin? To beat me down and break me up and build me back together again. Have the biggest sail in the harbor and still not catch a gust of wind. Have the biggest sail in the harbor and still not catch a gust of wind. Sometimes I just ain't happy with the way life is going, and I get depressed. I say didn't choose this, don't want to lose this, don't want to cruise through this life. I say I do my best. Well, it's a line of fear that keeps me here in this save a lion's den. And if I scream and shout and just ignore the doubt, well, I just smile when I say I can't deny myself. Oh, I am, 'cause I'm so scared I lose it all. So I just blame the other man. Don't it make your blood run cold? What I told, don't it make your blood run cold? What I told, yeah. Ooh, so tired of just ain't happy with the way life is going, and I feel put down. They call me white collar, blue collar. What do you bother chasing dollars just to get that crown? But if you stop and think, does all that bling bring true peace of mind? Sometimes you gotta change yourself and blame no one else, and then you will find if you deny yourself for what you think you are, you just may find yourself, yeah, letting go of the scars. See, you wanna be free, but you don't want to see the pain inside.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the second segment here on the Denton Vibe with Diva Girl Ellie. And we have some really interesting people here tonight. We're getting to know Randy and Sarah from the North Texas Book Festival. So we're going to hear all about that and see what's going on with the book festival. I'm excited because I remember when I was a kid, I loved book festivals. But this one might be a little bit different. So I want to see what it's all about. So you guys, Randy, Sarah, hi. Nice to see you.
Good evening. Thank you for having us.
Of course, of course. So what are you guys all about? How did y'all get here to Denton? What's the story behind y'all?
Well, we are the North Texas Book Festival. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, and what we do is we raise grants for literacy and library programs in the North Texas area.
Very cool.
Yes, so every year, we work towards building up those funds, and people submit their grant applications for us. We disperse the grants, and it all culminates at this big festival at the end of the year. This year it will be on April 6th, so upcoming this weekend.
It is. That's right around the corner.
Yes, so we're super excited. And so this year our featured author is Mr. Randy Schmidt, who is so special and been with us for how long?
I think the first one I did was in 2011, maybe.
2011?
The first festival, yeah.
Okay, we were founded in 2000, so Randy's been with us for, a good chunk of that time.
Journey.
And, yes, for that journey. And so we are thrilled to have him and the work that he's done. And he's going to be speaking about his research in the morning during our breakfast to our authors that will then be awarded. We have a competition among our authors. In various genres. So Randy will talk more about that with us now.
I don't.
Yeah, we go, Randy.
I'm not up for any award. They're just honoring me by letting me be a part of this.
Hey, you know what? That is an honor. It is an honor because they're highlighting you and showcasing your work, and obviously you've been busy.
Well, yeah, this is really kind of my side gig. As I mentioned to you before we went on, I'm an elementary music teacher here in Denton ISD. I'm the music teacher out at Atkins Elementary. And so by day, I'm with my kindergarten through fifth grade music students.
Nice.
And this, like I said, has been a side gig and really a passion project for me over the years, starting with my first book, which was Little Girl Blue, The Life of Karen Carpenter. And when that book came out in 2010, it really kind of surprised everybody, I think, because a book can totally fly under the radar and, maybe sell a few hundred or 1,000 copies. And this one sold out its initial print run before it even was released.
Wow.
And so we knew that something good was happening. And then the very first media contact on it was Entertainment Tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. It became a big deal really quick.
Oh, yeah.
And so, it was in People magazine,
Nice.
and I was on Inside Edition. So it was like overnight sensation of a book. And
wow.
It really caught me by surprise, and I think maybe even my publisher too. So it was after that started selling so well and getting so much attention that my editor said, so what's your next book? And I never expected to hear that because, this was kind of a one and done thing, I thought.
Was just going to ask you, did you actually have any plans to write another one? You were like, okay, now the pressure's on.
Yeah, this was it because, I was such a big fan of the Carpenters over the years and had done a lot of research just for my own curiosity, not really thinking I was going to put it together for a book. And then people started saying, where do you know this story from? Or, didn't you interview so-and-so? And what are you going to do with that? And so I finally wrote the book. I was kind of waiting on someone else to write, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You're like, well, let me just jot a note down. And then it turned into a whole book.
Yeah. Over about 8 to 10 years.
Really?
Off and on the shelf. And,
Wow.
So it was after that I had to start thinking, what a great opportunity if they're saying, what's your next book? I got to figure out something. And it was then that I discovered the same publisher had a series of books called Musicians in Their Own Words, which is a compilation of articles and interviews and the musician's own words telling their life story bit by bit over the course of their life. So the first one that I pitched to them in this series, which had done like Hendrix on Hendrix and Coltrane on Coltrane and Springsteen,
Nice.
all males up until that point, and mostly rock and jazz musicians. So I pitched another childhood love of mine, which was Judy Garland.
Nice.
And she's kind of genreless. She's not
timeless too.
She's just a action-packed entertainer. You can't really say she's any certain genre. And that was then my second book.
Very cool.
Then after that, I'm going back further in time to, I think, my very first musical love, which was Dolly Parton.
Nice.
And this has now become the best-selling book in that series.
Wow.
And these were the first two on the subject of women, which I'm kind of proud to put those into the series.
Definitely. That's a big accomplishment. And it's so interesting because when you put them down, I was like, wow, this is a very interesting combination. And I can relate to them all, honestly, because my mom was very much a Karen Carpenter fan.
Oh,
and
cool.
she would always listen to her. And I was always curious about her, and I remember reading into her story, and it was just such a interesting and sad story as well. And so and Dolly Parton was on TV when I was growing up and stuff.
Everywhere.
So, and then obviously Judy Garland, well, she's just timeless. Like I said, she's Judy Garland. So
well, they're kind of my holy trinity.
Nice.
They're my three favorites.
Well, they're your three. Look at that. That's a big deal. So props to you.
Well, thank you.
Props to you on that one and only debut book there.
I thought it was going to be one and done, but no.
Yeah, no, not your one and done. You obviously have more work to do. So anything else coming out after this?
Well, maybe there's one more thing here on the table. This is such an exciting thing for me because every once in a while, I guess you might get lucky enough to have somebody come along and believe in a project that you think maybe wouldn't get picked up by a publisher, like your dream book. And when I was putting together Little Girl Blue back, over 10 years ago, one of the most difficult things to do was to choose the photographs.
Yep.
And how can I narrow it to just 40? And, in digging for photos, rare things and stuff, I would discover archives of different photographers and, want to put everything into it. And luckily, I kept all those contacts because I think I've created like the fan book, like what every Carpenters fan kind of has dreamed of and didn't think it would happen with the Carpenters. And so this book is Carpenters an Illustrated Discography. It's brand new. They just came in from the publisher, and this is the first one pulled out of the box.
Wow.
And we'll be launching this actually it's this month, the end of this month, April 27th. There's a Carpenter's 50th anniversary celebration. It's like a fan convention, seriously.
Hey, you know what? You're going to have a following.
Well, perfect place, right?
Yeah.
So we're launching this in Thousand Oaks, California at that convention. And then I get to travel to London because the publisher lives in London, and he is hosting me for a book launch party at...
That's cool.
We just found out Hard Rock Cafe in London.
Oh,
so that's going to
okay.
be really exciting.
That is exciting. I'm so proud of you, and I just met.
Well, thank you.
Seriously, that's a huge deal, and that who would have thought that you would have put that to paper? And look at this. This is a great start to where
Well, thank you.
And you're getting to honor him in your book fair, and tell us a little bit more about the book fair itself.
Okay, well, obviously now you know why we're so excited to have him.
I would be too. Now I'm like, I gotta read.
Oh, right. And so what we've come across this year, especially as the grant applications were coming in, is over the last couple of years, the imperative to raise more money for these grants has just kind of increased. Federal funding has decreased, and so these organizations are depending more and more on organizations like ours to fund really necessary things that they're doing. We've had some really interesting projects come out that people have wanted to fund, but and some of them are small libraries out there in which they're just trying to build up their collections. Things get outdated, and where's that going to come from? And the librarians need that support, especially. And then there's some really neat projects that are coming through that we see, and one of them really brought us to tears this time around. It was an incredible project, and we are so proud to get to talk about it at the festival this weekend. So it's really neat to get to be a part of that, but also to support the great community of artists that we have just in the area, including Randy. Writing is such a time-intensive art.
It is.
And, my concentration is in painting, and a lot of it's automatic painting. And I get this, great result that's very gratifying almost immediately. And, with writers, it's just such a totally different process, and the amount of research and responsibility to reflect accurately
I was
what
just going to
he's
say
doing.
that
Yes,
accurately.
Yes. And so getting to honor that art form by hosting these authors that are there and at tables where you can come around, talk to them about their art, talk to them about the work they're doing. It's a brilliant exchange of ideas with people that otherwise you wouldn't get to run into. How many times do you get to run across an author and get to ask them details about, what they ran into in the course of this that maybe didn't make it into the book? And so that's what I really like about it. I've been doing this a couple years now, and that's one of my favorite parts is this one day where I get to sit in front of somebody that has just so joyously and openly put themselves out there and their ideas and their thoughts, and make that connection with them and get to talk about this thing that's now solid and manifested.
Yeah. It is exciting because if you think about it, when you see the movies and you see the scene where all the people are sitting at the bookstore listening to the author and they're just picking their brain, they always want to know what the purpose was behind a certain chapter or moment, or the fact that the books eventually become movies.
Yeah,
so
it's
just
so special about it, and attracting that crowd to get to do this thing that it seems so old, and people may feel it's kind of antiquated now. There's Kindles and stuff like this, but this will never ever take the place of holding that book in your hand and getting to hold this kind of manifest of human thought.
I'm not crying over the books. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm not getting teary-eyed. My allergies are on fire.
You and everybody. I think.
Yes, I'm like, okay, yes, I'm getting a little emotional about
Ellie,
the book.
you were making me feel really good for a moment there.
I know you were looking at me like, is she crying? And I was like, oh, please don't let the tear fall because she's really going to lose it if I do. No, I'm kidding. But there is nothing better than holding the book in your hands. I would never prefer the Kindle over this.
We've got 50 authors this weekend, something like 50?
Over 50
over
authors,
50.
yes. We've made new partnerships. Recycled Books is going to be there. We have Sabrina Rare Books that are, Ephraim is going to do appraisals. So if you have an old collectible or a rare book,
that's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Pull that out and bring it for a $5 donation. He's going to look it over and tell you if you've got something on your hands. Also, this year we're launching the most literary pizza competition. It is going to be fun. We've got all the local pizzeria or select local pizzerias. Some of them didn't have time, but they were kind enough to make a donation.
Very nice.
Yes, but we have several of them that are going to compete for the most literary pizza award, and their task is to make an edible work of art based off a book, an author, or the love of reading.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty interesting.
I think a couple of them were so excited this is going to be pretty hilarious. So.
Are we the judges? Do the authors get to be the judges?
The authors are the judges.
Yeah, so we get to try it. That's our lunch, I think. We get to try it out.
Yes. You guys are going to be well taken care of with the pizzas, that's for sure.
Definitely.
Oh, that is exciting. So what else do you guys have going on? I mean, that's a jam-packed event already, especially with 50 authors being there, right?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
my goodness. So that is exciting. Can you name off a few just to highlight, or is it a secret? Because I know some events are top secret stuff. So.
No, well, of course, Randy's going to be there. Oh, gosh.
We have Janet Seaver-Hull, who's a well-known local children's author, and she was last year's featured author there.
Oh, nice.
It's mostly DFW area authors, and they're out, a lot of them every weekend promoting their work, and you'll see them doing signings and things all around DFW. But this is a place where it's just an intense day where you can go from table to table, and there's a different subject for everybody's liking, I think.
I think they're going to have to take a bag, because if I was going to a book fair, I used to love them as a kid, but as an adult, I'd probably be like, okay, I want this one. I want this one.
It's hard to stop.
Take a little bag. No, not a little bag. You're going to need a hefty bag because it's going to carry books. Take your backpack. So this is going to be April the 6th.
Yeah, this Saturday.
This upcoming Saturday, April the 6th.
What's our start time's 11, right?
Our start time's 11. Now, we do have a breakfast going on. And
we've had the breakfast.
Yes, well, it's our Chuck Wagon breakfast. It starts at 8 o'clock. And this year we've made new partnerships there, too.
Nice.
We have Juice Lab.
Nice.
And Chick-fil-A. So many have pitched in and have been willing to help us do this. We do suggest reservations for that if you'd like to come, or it's $10 at the door. But the event is free, and it's April 6th here at the GDAC. It's the Patterson Apple Arts Center at 400 East Hickory, and that'll run from 11 to 4. You can come and meet the local authors and get your books signed, and we're going to have other things like a scavenger hunt going on for the kids.
Cool.
I have so many prizes for the kids that we picked up this year, and Al Curlett's going to be there. He does the balloon twisting art,
nice.
and he will make you a hat. He made some amazing hats last year.
You're going to get some interesting photos, that's for sure.
We did. We got one on the stairs of everybody with their hat and the
that's
bouquets he
neat.
made for the ladies.
That's really
yes,
neat.
he's a trip. I love him.
So are you going to be speaking?
I'm going to be speaking at the breakfast that morning.
Okay,
and,
I was just going to ask.
My talk is going to be called, well, it's kind of Carpenters related in the title, Only Just Begun. And then the subtitle is Adventures in Research. One of the things that I've just loved doing throughout this whole process is getting to travel around the country, whether it is to, actual places that these people lived and walked and worked, and to kind of, put yourself in their footsteps. But then also the many research libraries and places around the country that have been so generous. I mean, and so I'm going to talk about the time that I've spent in the Margaret Herrick Library, which is the Academy of Motion Pictures. It's their research library, and it's just amazing. Let me think what else. The New York Public Library for the Performing Arts, and to be able to dig into their archives and to, go into special collections. And it's really kind of a puzzle piece kind of thing, because you're looking for that one piece of the puzzle maybe nobody else has found.
Yeah.
And you're just putting it all together one little piece at a time, and you may, travel 1,000 miles to go find something out, and all you come back with is that one little thing, but it's usually worth it,
I was just going to ask you, do you ever feel like, first of all, I don't know why I think of the movie National Treasure, where you're going across all the United States trying to find little relics and stuff.
I feel like that sometimes.
Well, I mean, have you ever been somewhere where you're like, you're on a mission, obviously, you're trying to find something, and then you find something and you're like, oh my gosh, this is the treasure right here. This is it. This is the meat of what I've been looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of these places that I've been to, I'll be going through things, and I was researching for another topic not related to this, and I was at in the archives at the Magic Castle. The Magic Castle is a magician's kind of a private club in Hollywood. And the guy who owns that has these amazing archives for all kinds of entertainers over the years. So I'm digging through this stuff and just looking through pictures and papers. And once I start coming across actual hand-painted designs, like costume designs by Vincent Minnelli, who designed all these wonderful costumes for MGM over the years and movies, Liza Minnelli's dad. And it's just right there in my hands. And I'm like, this has got to go, this needs to be in a museum somewhere.
Yeah.
And so to come across things like that, and to just have the opportunity to go through these things that have been preserved for people like me and for this purpose, so that it can live on and keep on giving.
Yeah, definitely.
And that kind of came full circle, like at the New York Public Library. I was leaving. My first time there, I was leaving, and I just happened to check into the biographies, and they had 3 copies of Little Girl Blue, and it's just like, wow, even long after I'm gone, that book will still be there, and hopefully somebody else will be researching, and then, carrying it on.
Yeah.
It continues to ripple on through generations, and that's what I'm excited about.
Now, did you Please tell me you got a selfie with your books on the library
I
shelf
don't think
in
I
New
was
York.
in the picture, but yeah, I definitely got the
okay,
picture.
cool. I was like, that is a big deal. I would be
It's
really
fun.
excited. I'm excited for you. That's
Well,
really
thank you.
neat. You guys have a big event coming up.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
is.
So where would they find information online?
You can go to ntbf.org, or we also have a Facebook page in which you can get updates. Different authors post their work, and join as a member, and then you get all the information of upcoming things going on as far as our fundraising efforts and things like this. And of course, we can always use the help with those fundraisers. Denton Independent Hamburger. When is that? Do you remember? I think is it the 26th?
Oh my goodness, I can't remember
Off
the
the
date.
top
I'm
of my
sorry.
yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not even.
Well, they can find it on the
Yes,
on the
please
website.
find it on the website and on Facebook. You come out, have dinner, and they give us a portion of the profits there.
Nice.
And and just coming to the festival, we kind of have this nebulous thing that we say we support literacy, and and the thing is, just getting out there and showing the authors that someone's reading, and we can see the reviews on Amazon, and a few people might do that, but just to let them know that there are still readers out there, and they love their work, and that they support what they're doing, and that exchange of ideas. And we'd love to see them out there and get the kids reading too.
Yeah, definitely.
Kids are really enthusiastic about it, and they get it really into the scavenger hunt.
I was just going to say they're going to have a ball with that scavenger hunt.
Definitely.
And like I said, book fair for me when I was a kid was my favorite thing. I even liked getting the little newspaper handouts that they would give to you.
Like the order.
Yes, and I
order
would be
forms.
so excited. I'd be like coming home with my little newspaper, flyer. Mom, what are we going to check off? I used to love to read. I mean, I was reading before I went to school, so I loved it. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But now for adults and children too. So
very much so.
yeah, you guys make sure you go out and check it out. Get out there and support local authors all over the DFW area. Come see this super talented gentleman here.
Thank you.
I mean, the proof is right here. And come and support all of the people that put their time and effort behind this. And you can obviously find information. And if you'd like to support the cause, you can definitely go and contribute to that. And I hope you guys have many more events that you guys share with the community so that you can grow your cause. And I am so happy that you guys joined me here tonight. It was
Thank
very,
you.
very
Thank you
nice
for
to have you
having
here.
us. Yeah.
And so where can they find information on your books as an author?
I have randylschmidt.com, and there's a bookstore on there for people who want to get signed copies or whatever.
Nice.
And then all the books are available, with the exception of this one. It's too new. It's not quite on Amazon and Barnes and Noble yet, but the others are all available through those outlets and anywhere books are sold.
Nice. Well, congratulations to you on the success of your books.
Oh, thank you.
Very much so. That's pretty amazing. And thank you for joining us tonight. And we hope you have a successful event. And we will probably have you guys come back and join us whenever you have another yearly book fair. Is it yearly?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's every year in
okay.
April.
Yeah, so you guys come back and visit with me.
Love to.
Thank you so much for joining us here for a double header on the Denton Vibe with Diva Girl Ellie here on Denton Radio. We hope you have a great week, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out DentonRadio.com for new Denton artists and where they're playing next. While you're surfing the internet, make sure you check out our friends Classic of Denton at ClassicofDenton.com.